Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Fred and Friends. I'm your host, Fred Schultz, and tonight we're going to be talking WCPL. We're going to be talking about the Florida tournament that just happened and the upcoming brand new Wisconsin tournament at Commando Paintball. So it's going to be pretty cool. I've got Ryan Belknap on tonight, Team Legacy, and then I've got Rob Walker, Dan's man, and Kevin Donaldson, also another band man. So it should be pretty cool tonight. And wow, I got some great people watching already. Paul Farrell, always the first to jump on. I love you, brother. You know that. And I got my brother Gumby on tonight, Stephen Santasola and his beautiful wife Julie, Zach Armbuckle, Kenny Chavez. All right, another band guy. Wow, very, very cool. So tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about what just happened. And, I've got Ryan here. Ryan plays for Team Legacy. Anyhow, he was at the tournament down there in Florida, Panhandle, that Danny and Steve Prisco just put on. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and what's going on, Deanne, my sister-in-law. How you doing, sweetheart? She just fell the other day and cracked her head open. So you just keep healing up, sweetie. So I'm going to come and bug you. The end of July, I'm going to come there for the August tournament. So we're going to hang out at your place. Can't wait. Love it. And we've got Howdy watching right now. Boy, Howdy, you got to make it up to the Wisconsin thing. A lot of people are going to come up there. So it should be pretty cool. As a matter of fact, Zach Armbuckle said he was even going to sweep out the pro shop at Commando Paintball because of all, the minute he heard Kevin Donaldson was coming up, he's like, oh my God, paintball celebrities. So he goes, I'm going to have to sweep out the pro shop. That's pretty cool. Let's see. We've decided to expand the haunted house into the 10-man field. Oh man, you're cracking me up, buddy. I love it. So anyhow, I'm looking forward to that. I really, really am. And I'm looking forward to talking to Ryan, who was down there, and I'm looking forward to talking to Rob and Kevin, who's going to be in Wisconsin. Because, what's going on, Jason? Everybody, we're trying very, very hard. Our whole theme is not to have a gazillion teams. Our whole theme is to have people have a good time. One thing I absolutely love, and to me is really a big part of paintball now. When I was younger and I had all the endorsements and I had all the sponsors and all this stuff, it was always all about winning. Now for me, winning is going to these events and seeing guys like Ryan and Rob and Kevin that I don't get to see. And Zach, you too. And Ryan, Courtney, what's going on, brother? And, getting to see all these people that I normally wouldn't get to see. And to me, that is a big plus of paintball. That's the hidden joy of paintball is getting to go to these events and seeing your friends that you normally would not get to see because obviously we don't live alongside each other. Very, very simple. So, and, I get to see beautiful women also, like Jessica Marie. So, it's pretty cool. Absolutely love it. So let me get this out of the way here real quick, because I'm going to bring these guys out. I want to talk WCPL, Now, so we've already had the first of the WCPL tournament, and it was down there at Panhandle Paintball down in Florida. And everything that I seen, it went great. And, what kind of amazes me is, Major League Paintball, is really the biggest part. Tom Cole is like the tip of the spear on Major League Paintball. And I love Tommy. Tommy and I have been friends for a long, long time. And Tommy is also a band member, too. But, I find it awful funny that the guys that go and they played the Panhandle Paintball, there is so much about it on the internet right now, talking about the fun they had and just everything that goes with it. And I really don't see a lot. You'd think when you get a couple hundred teams, there'd be at least 100 different articles out there about it. So I'm kind of interested, why nobody really, other than the Filipino paintballers, which I absolutely love, they post a little bit, but everybody out there, you play these events, Tommy works his butt off to put these on too. You should give him a little love and, just put it out there what you think about it, because I've read some great things about Panhandle paintball. And do we have a gazillion teams? No, but do we have people that are really loyal and great? Oh my God, it's just it is the best of the best. You couldn't ask for the better teams that are coming to play right now in the WCPL. I love it. So anyhow, the next one is going to be August 2nd. That's going to be at Commando Paintball. And that is up, it's up by Green Bay. It's in a town called Little Shanushku or something like that. Maybe Rob can help me with that, or somebody, or anybody actually, because I just say it's up by Green Bay, and I keep it very, very safe. And then after that one, we're going to go up to Oregon, because Jim Lively is going to be doing a 7-man up there, September 6th and 7th. And he's going to be doing this under the wing of the WCPL. So this should be pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a 2-day event, 7-man teams. It's going to be cut off at 18, just like what we try to do on all of them. And then Saturday night is going to have a big roast. And you know who's going to be doing the barbecuing? A lot of you people probably don't remember Mike Cassidy. Mike Cassidy owned Phantom Paintball Markers. One of the best. I mean, this guy is just terrific. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to come up there and hang out with everybody. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to have a lot of fun. And the same thing at Commando Paintball. I'm really, really looking forward to that, and it should be pretty cool. And the Commando Paintball, Kevin Yeager's watching right now, and I'm going to have Kevin on maybe next week, because Kevin's really been helping me with the Commando Paintball thing up there, building the field and getting things set up and connecting me with refs and yada yada yada, everything that goes along with doing something like this, because it gets complicated. It's a complicated thing. Anybody that thinks this is easy, give it a shot and then come back and talk to me. It's not easy. I've done this for a lot of years, all the way starting with Jim Lively, then to the MPPL. So I've done this for a long, long time, and it's not an easy thing. You need great people helping you. And, I got to tell you, Kevin's a great, great guy. And Kevin's got some good little business going, too, with headbands. I'm going to try to put him on next week, and we're going to talk a little bit about his headbands, because I think it's pretty cool. And I can't wait. Brendan Olson, what's going on, buddy? Man, we're great. I cannot wait for the Wisconsin tournament, so I can go up and meet all these people face to face and shake their hands. I'm going to love it. So anyhow, the 7-man tournament up in Oregon, it's called the Gold Rush Classic. Jim Lively, September 6th and 7th. You're going to want to be there. And then obviously the crown jewel of the WCPL is going to be October 10th, 11th, and 12th. And that's in St. Louis, the St. Louis Classic. And it's at Tim Schloss's field. It's great. Gateway Paintball, terrific place. Kevin's played it, Ryan's played it, Rob's played it. Just a great, great place to play. It really, really is. So a couple things I want to mention real quick. The PBSL North, Todd Winokur and them guys for PBSL, I absolutely love the PBSL. They're a great, great organization. Very good for the sport of paintball. At Ambush Paintball Park, May 18th, they're going to be doing a memorial game for Cecil D. Los Reyes, okay? So if you get a chance, go and hang out, donate a little bit. We've lost quite a few paintball players this year. And, the older we get, obviously we're all here on borrowed time, and it's going to happen to all of us, which is really a shame. But, every time you lose a good paintball player, it actually hurts. It does. And we got a lot of great young ones coming along right now. So we got to support them to keep to pass the baton, keep the ball rolling in the future. So that, if you get a chance, May 18th, Ambush Paintball, go up there and ask for Todd Winokur, PBSL. You're going to love this guy. He's cool as hell. And then the LA Remember Foundation, this one I'll be at. It's June 29th at Dynamic Paintball in Colorado. And Andy Starrett, he's the head of all of this. And their foundation is for domestic violence. But, he's kind of drifted out of domestic violence, still does stuff for them. But he also does stuff for a lot of other people in need. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to jump up there and check it out. And James Strutton, buddy, man, I wanted to get up to Oregon this last weekend, but I was so jammed up. I couldn't make it to Florida. I couldn't make it up to the Super Game. But James Strutton did a great, great job up there. He was one of the generals at the Oregon Super Game. And very, very happy for you, my friend. It's very well deserved. It really, really was. He's got a great field up there in Oroville, California. Get a chance, go up there and play it. Does a lot of airsoft, too. Airsoft and paintball. I love them both, but I really like paintball. And then the Decay of Nations, which is one of my favorite out here. And this one I'll be at. Last year, Bud and I went down there and we went live and had a great, great time. And it's down at FC Village, down in Southern California, Corona, California. And it's just great. Gio the owner does a terrific job down there. They got like 16 fields. And what he does is he opens up, takes some of the barriers off and makes the fields a lot huger. And it's just a great, great time. If you get a chance, you're going to want to go do it. Real quick, my shout outs, Tim Schloss, Gateway Paintball. It's the last of the WCPL of the year. And he also has Tiger Stripe Camouflage. You're going to absolutely love it. Get a chance, come and check it out in October. Great, great field, great time, great people attend it. Dan and John Colby, Dan, they have Mortal Air at Air America back in the day. And Danny is half owner of Panhandle Paintball, and they knocked it out of the park. My little buddy, Bud Orr. I love Bud. Bud was going to be on tonight with us, but he's sporting a cold right now. So he's just kind of hanging out at the house. He's afraid if he came on, he'd start coughing and everything like that. And Bud, we just want you to get better. I love you, brother. No doubt. Tom K. Airgun Designs was my sponsor for many, many years with the Automag, Rainey and Juby Boucher. Paintball News, great, great people. Randy Camilla was the editor for APG, gave me my first cover shot. Jerry Braun was the editor for Paintball Sport Magazine, gave me cover shots also. Ross Alexander, Ross had Line SI. He was my very first market sponsor. I still have my original Bushmaster up here. Ross is going to be pedaling through, I think it's Oregon. Anyhow, he's from Colorado. He's going to be pedaling for the Lung Association. So if you get a chance, jump online, look up Ross Alexander, and go ahead and donate to it because, everybody, how many paintball players are out there? There's a gazillion of us now. It's not like there's 5 here and 5 in the next county. We're everywhere now. If everybody just donates $5, which isn't going to break anybody, it'll help these diseases. And that's something we absolutely need to do. And when you do that, what you do is you make paintball look good in a real good light, because people that don't play paintball see that the paintballers are vested in trying to help people outside of their sport, and it makes them interested enough to want to get involved in paintball. So you want to do it, give it a shot. Won't take much. Ross Alexander, just jump online and check it out. Jim Lively, I mentioned Jim about his tournament coming up. Gino from Belkin. Gino, his paint's shooting darts. It's shooting absolutely excellent. And Gino does a lot of stuff behind the scenes for paintball. Very, very good guy. And then my 2 little buddies, which I mentioned every week, 2 little young guns, Jaden Gong and Mark Gong Jr. The future of paintball. So I'll tell you what. Okay, I've done my spiel. I blew through it as quick as I could. I had to slow down to say a couple of things because I believe a lot in the sport of paintball, and I believe what we can do to make paintball bigger and better. To make paintball bigger and better, you got to kind of step outside of the box a little bit. And, like I say, when you help other people that aren't in the sport of paintball, it makes more people aware of the sport of paintball, and it brings more people in. So anyhow, and Kathy Alvarez, how you doing, sweetheart? So I'm going to start with bringing out one of my buddies that, we go back a long time. As a matter of fact, I was just showing Ryan my survival patch from 1988, the survival games we played at. So please, everybody, welcome Mr. Kevin Donaldson. What's going on, Kevin?
How are you?
Doing good, yeah. I had to show I got like 1,000 patches. Whenever I got patches, I never sold them on anything. I just put them away. And then this guy here, this is from 1988. They're survival games.
Oh my God, yeah.
Remember those? So that's what I mean. We go back so far for so many things. And, when I talked about the WCPL, Kevin is actually the tip of the spear. And don't say anything, Kevin, because I know how you are. He's kind of the tip of the spear in starting WCPL. He talked to me about a year before we actually fired this thing off. And, the guy works very, very hard. He was a tip of the spear for the NPPL, although I was fortunate enough to jump in and help a little bit at the beginning. But, the guy's a visionary. And, Kevin, the tournament that they just had down in Florida, I was talking to Ryan from Team Legacy. Anyhow, he was saying what a great time he had. And, Kevin, when we started that was our whole focus.
That's what we wanted. That was the whole plan. That's basically our model. Make sure everybody has a good time. We don't, the number of teams isn't important. It's the quality. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job with that so far,
No, I absolutely agree. Look, we got Wes Wong watching right now. How far back does that guy go? Oh my God.
He's awesome, man. He is an awesome guy.
He absolutely is. He's one of them guys that are good for people. The problem, that's why we need to work with our young guns now, because, the guys, like Wes, Bud Orr, myself, you're still a kid, Kevin, but, the rest of us are, we're getting older. And it's not that it makes it harder. It just says you never know how much time you've got left to do something like this, So, Wes, you're a great guy. And I'd like to get Wes on some night. I know that there's a few people that want to jump on with you, and I think we could make it pretty good, actually, have a really good time. Bud was going to be on with us tonight, but Bud has a cold right now, and he's watching the show, but he's kind of hanging out in bed. And Wes, having you and Bud Orr on, and oh my gosh, I could get you guys rolling, and I'd go have a sandwich, and then come back in an hour and close the show. I think it'd be pretty cool. Absolutely love it. So, anyhow, Kevin, I got a couple guys on tonight that have played in the Florida tournament and are going to play in the Wisconsin tournament. So, I know you feel like I do. Everybody that actually help support us. I just feel really grateful for them.
Oh, I am too. Without them, we're nothing. But, we did this for them. So if they're having a good time, then that's mission accomplished, Freddie. That's it. That's all I can say. I'm sorry I miss Florida as well, but, I'll definitely be in Wisconsin. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. You shaved. My God, when you first came on in the green room, I thought that was like Kevin Jr. I'm like, what's going on?
I wanted to see if I had wrinkles under the beard, but I was okay.
No, man, you look great. Now I feel kind of bad. Jeez, now I'm afraid to shave.
Nah, change it up a little.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I like doing it. Just what you said. I love doing that. It's absolutely cool. Keith Kissel. For a good time, Kiko. Call Fred or Kevin. Yeah, Kiko hangs out with me every day.
Oh, does he?
So, yeah, that's why I act the way I do. Otherwise I'd be pretty sane. But he's
a good man. He's a good man. He got you, and him and Freddy got you back.
Yeah, they did that. They did that. Yeah. Well, I got a couple great guys on here tonight, and what do you say we drag them out? We'll talk a little paintball, a little WCPL, and just see what's going on for the past and the future. All right, sure. Please, everybody, welcome. Team Legacy. Please, everybody, welcome my very good friend, Mr. Ryan Belknap. What's going on, Ryan?
How's it going?
It's going good. And then my little buddy from down there in Chicago, another band member. another guy that earned a spot on the band. I think is a really terrific guy. He's the head of Team Fox. Please, everybody, welcome Mr. Rob Walker.
Hey, everybody.
What's going
Robbie.
on?
What's going on, boys?
Robbie.
I miss you guys.
Yeah,
I
you know
know.
what? I'll tell you what's going to be cool is the Wisconsin tournament. We're going to get to see each other, man.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be fun. We got Cliff Myers watching right now, too. Well,
Cliffy up in Canada.
Jessica Marie said that's why I shaved my beard, too.
Hi, Jess.
Jessica.
She's such a cutie. Unreal. I love it, man. So, I'm going to start with you, Ryan, because you did play the Florida tournament. You just got back from it. I want to ask you, first of all, let me start with how were the attitudes of the other teams?
They were great. I mean, it got heated on the field, a few different games, but we were all friends once we got outside the nets, and it was a family affair, basically.
And that's what I like so much about it. And I'll use St. Louis as an example. Things got heated on the field there too. Everybody's out there to win. I mean, it just doesn't matter. You're out there to try to win and do the best you can. But the true mark of a gentleman and a lady is once off the field, how you act after it's over with. And I got to tell you, the camaraderie I seen. Guys would be griping at each other on the field and then come off the field. This team needed something. A team would jump in and give them a hand. And, I thought that was really, really cool. And I think that's what the WCPL is bringing to the sport of paintball. What do you think, Ryan?
For sure. WCPL, it's just a total different vibe than other leagues. I played in a few different ones, and you just don't get the friendships that you do at WCPL.
That's
Absolutely
great, Ryan. Ryan, that's awesome. That's what I want to hear. It makes me feel good when I hear stuff like that from guys like you. It's great. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's why I push my team to support your guys' tournaments. They're the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not easy to do, and I get all these people, going, I should do this. I tell them, go hold a tournament and then come back and talk to me. See how easy it is. See how many moving parts there are, and even God can't make everybody happy. That's just, how it is. It's a shame, but that's how it is. But we try as hard as we can. And, Ryan, guys like you and Rob really are a plus for the WCPL. And I'll tell you why real quick. And same way Kenny Chavez and all the people that play it so far, except for one team. I won't get into that team. But other than that, you guys have really made the WCPL. You have made people want to come and play against you. And they know you guys are tough cookies on the field. There's no doubt about it. But off the field, they know that they're going to meet new people and have a good time. So,
Rob is one of the reasons Legacy plays WCPL these days. Because one of our guys played one of the early WCPL events with Rob, and he's like, "Man, you guys got to go. You guys got to go play this. Got a team together." Yep.
Goose.
Yeah. So Rob, by the way, everybody, Rob is a band member, and it takes a lot to be a band member, believe me. But anyhow, going past that, Rob, how did you get started Legacy Anything? You let him play on Team Fox?
So for the New York event, the first Woods Ball World Cup, I wasn't going to miss it. We were short a couple guys, and I did something I never do, and I posted I needed a couple bodies. I don't usually do that publicly because I can usually find somebody talking to all the teams. Out of the blue comes Matt Courtney, but he was going under a different name on Facebook, so I wasn't sure who it was. So we started messaging back and forth. What's that?
Dan Harley was his alias for a while.
He's got a new one now, doesn't he? Another one?
Yeah, it was Dan Harley. So we started talking together, and I realized it was Matt. And I'm like, dude, you got to come play this. He goes, I haven't played in years. I said, I don't care. you got to come and play this, get back into it. You know, because we were chatting and he's like, I want to get back into it, but this, that, the other. So I convinced him to go. No change from the past. He was an absolute blast. And like Ryan said, he went home and told them. So I don't know if you can give me the credit at all, but Matt was definitely the catalyst for you guys to go. That's for sure.
He's a great guy too, Matt. I mean, he's a really good guy, good man.
And so are all the legacy guys. We've known each other for how long?
Yeah.
25 years.
This is our sixth season together, and we met you at the beginning.
Yeah. You know, although, I like your jersey, by the way.
Yeah. That's that tournament led to us getting these also.
I think you called me up and said, who's making your jersey? And I told you, and you went and got them.
That, but.
Yeah, it's a great design too. You know, it's got my last name on the front, my first name on the front here. So if I ever forget who I am, all I got to do is look down. It's right there. It's pretty cool, man.
Right there. Well, where is it? Where's the camera? You can't see it, but I put our first names on the front of our jerseys because Swarm did it. And we did it in the 90s. And then when I brought the team back, I did it again because to me, it's what I explain to the guys is if somebody makes a good move and they want to talk to whoever it was, when you're walking off, they see that name. So they'll come find you. And that has happened over all the years, 90s, even today. And they didn't like it at first because they wanted the NASCAR jersey. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going for all these sponsors and all that. I want to stay simple like I've always been. But name on the front is an absolute. And now they love it. So
I never thought about that. So now I got to look out that I don't get beat up after I come off the field. Because everybody go, that was Fred that did that. Yeah, well, that's a different theory now. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on which way it goes. It can be good or bad. Most of the time, it's 90% good.
There you go. Well, I got to tell you, Rob, you couldn't have brought a better team in than Legacy.
Those guys rock.
Not because of their jersey. I love the jersey, but it's the people that make up the team. Chris Platt and just all of them. His wife. She really grabs a hold of everything when she's at the tournaments, man. She does. Yeah, she's kind of like the drill sergeant. I absolutely love it.
Dina.
So, but what you did is bringing people like that in. It's not only fun for them. What it does is it makes fun for the other people that are at the tournament, and it's just absolutely cool. Let me see here, Kevin Chavez, Kenny, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Kenny?
In Iowa. He says, I want a pair of Legacy shorts. All right.
Just take off your underwear and send it to him.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I quit wearing shorts, and everybody kept going, hey, there's a thread hanging out of your leg. Oh, it's your leg. I'm sorry. So, I don't wear shorts anymore. I've seen better legs on a coffee table. But it is what it is, So, Rob, I was very happy to hear that you're going to bring Team Fox up to Wisconsin and play that tournament because, first of all, I want to give Commando Paintball some love. I think they're a great field owned by a great guy. And Kevin Yeager has really been helping me. And, he had an accident, his foot got hurt, leg got hurt. So, but he is still out there doing things to make it happen. And then Zach Armbuckle, Zach.
Zach's awesome.
Oh, wow. You call him awesome. Oh, my gosh. Does he send you like a check every week? Does he send you like a check every week? Man.
He sends me a pair of his underwear, his clown underwear.
Ah, okay. I'm not going to cut that
more
out.
information than I need, Robbie.
Well, I'm looking forward to having you come up there. I think that's going to be so cool. And Kevin texted me tonight, and he said that they're going to go ahead and be working again on it, the field, this coming weekend, and he's going to put more pictures out there on it. What I'd seen so far, it looks good. Cool, doesn't it? Yeah, they're building more bunkers out, and it's flat. So I think it's going to be a great time. I really do it.
I'm looking forward to going someplace different, man.
Yes. Exactly.
I went down to the NXL. I was down in Atlantic City for the NXL event, and people were coming up to me asking me what was going on with the WCPL, and I said, we got an event in Portland, we've got an event in Green Bay, and they were like, Green Bay? I said, yeah. What made you go to Green Bay? I said, we want to go to places where people normally don't go. We want to bring this event to new teams. There's a lot of teams in that market area that don't really go to national events. So we'll bring the events to them.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to obscure places than always the same place. Always Chicago, always Orlando, always Texas, always Vegas.
It's like the NPPL used to be, yeah.
It's the same events we did 30 years ago. Same venues.
I like I love the changes.
I love the changes. Like even Kenny in Iowa. I mean, if he wanted to do an event there, I'd love to do something. I want to take this thing to everybody. Make it easy for teams to come, new teams to come. And if you got 10 new teams, maybe one sticks.
Well, I'll go to all the events except the Kenny's in Iowa. Just kidding.
Look. Hey, let me go back in the comments. You said something about Rob sucks. Let me see. No.
Who said that?
Everybody says that.
I got to tell you, when I got to go there, and it's Zach Armbuckle that really fired this up. Because, I've known Zach ever since I got back into paintball. I met him online, but never got to meet him. So I went to visit my brother in Green Bay, and I said, well, I'm in Green Bay. I said, I'd like to meet you. And he goes, well, I'll meet you out at Commando Paintball. He goes, that's where I play paintball. And he said, it's pretty cool. So I said, all right. So I go out there, and they had a haunted house. This was actually before Halloween. So I went out there, and a haunted house he'd set up was just killer. Oh, my God. It was so cool. And they took me all through it and had a good time. And I started looking around. I thought, wow, this would be such a cool place to have a tournament. So I went and I talked to Randall, which is the owner. I went and talked to him. I says, would you guys be interested in doing a WCPL tournament here? And I could not believe the excitement that was thrown right back at me about being able to do something like that. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm from Wisconsin originally. And I thought to bring something back to Wisconsin, to bring it to a part where nobody has even thought about, Major League Paintball or any of that stuff. None of them have been up in there, and it's not just so much the market to bring the, more money in, because there's not a lot of money in the WCPL. Take my word for it.
Money.
Yeah, money. I didn't want to bring that part up. So, but what it is the teams, the people, if you want to build paintball, like we always talked about, you got to take some hits, and the minute they said that they wanted to do it, I started thinking about the demographic around there. You got Illinois, you got Michigan, you got Iowa, you've got Canada. Everything is very, very close right there. It's not like they're traveling from the East Coast or the West Coast or the southern states. So that's why I was so happy to get, you. But that's why I thought it was so cool that they agreed to go ahead and do that.
Well, I love that because, like Kevin said, he'd rather bring it to them. We're one of the lucky teams that have the guys that can afford to travel all the time, 90s style.
Right.
A lot of these teams can't do it. And bringing it to them and giving them the opportunity is just fantastic. We're blessed with that. So
I'd like someday to see this become like a real professional league where you actually have like 18 teams that do everything, and then everybody else is just on the outside, like that's it. It's
kind of like NASCAR
type of a thing. I mean, paintball is like one of the only professional sports where, you just buy your way in. It doesn't matter. Anybody can get in as long as they want to write the check.
Well, that's like, let's use Timmy's as an example. 18 teams go there, but other teams want to get in there. But, the people that have the first shot at getting to play that tournament are the people that have supported the WCPL and have played in one of their events before. They are the very first. So if there's 20 teams, if you haven't played the WCPL, but you want to become part of it, and the other teams are part of the WCPL already, you're still going to be out,
Yeah. Well, that's what I've told people. I said, even if you pay your money, You know, you pay your money and you're in, and some other team that's played the event before decides to come in 2 weeks later. I'm going to give you back your money.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
that's it.
it's the
So-
truth. Yep.
So this, the gentleman that just came up, Gabe Ramos, said, "What's up, everybody?
Gabe.
You want him in." Heist, they started here, but now they're over at Badlands and back and forth. But
They're coming to St. Louis already.
yeah, those are a bunch of fantastic guys. We practice with them every other weekend. We jump back and forth between here and Badlands, and you know, Gabe is doing a fantastic job with that squad. Everybody on the team has a great attitude. They're like legacy.
Yeah, Gabe's played for Legacy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Gabe,
Yeah.
you know, if you get a chance, you know, we still got 3 more openings because I'm making the cutoff for 10 and seeing its first tournament up in Wisconsin. But if you get a chance, you know, jump in. I didn't want to push the Wisconsin tournament until after Danny and Steve had their tournament down in Florida. You know, I just wanted
That's
to
the
lie
right way.
low until after that. You know, now that it's over, now I'm, you know, excuse me, but balls to the wall to make the Wisconsin tournament. The 10 teams that show up there have a great time, period. So,
Now,
you know,
is that going to be a one-day event?
well, you know, I'm still working on that. You know, so far I wanted to do it one day, but you know, it depends.
It's a long day.
If it gets too crowded, then I'll probably roll it into Sunday to finish it up. You know, Sunday morning
That's
to
okay.
finish up the finals and everything like that. I just want everybody to have a good time. You know, we were out here last year. We had a tournament out here. It was like 108 degrees. It was just brutally hot. But after it was over, everybody had a good time. I'm like, holy crap. You know, it's all about making people have fun. You know, and that was Kevin. When Kevin started this, that was one of the big things. And, you know, one thing I've noticed is the nice people for some reason gravitate towards the WCPL. Not that the other tournaments are bad, because they're all good. Everything that is positive for paintball, I'm all for. You know, Tommy Cole and all of his stuff, I'm just all for it. But I like the way the WCPL, I like what we stand for, and I like the people that gravitate towards it, like Ryan.
Yep.
And
Right.
you know, the whole team legacy. I would not put this jersey on if I thought these guys sucked.
Those guys
Period.
win.
If we could all get off work, we'd be playing every WCPL event. But so it's
Yep.
hard to get 10 guys together for 5 events. We're doing pretty
It's-
good playing though.
Yep. And
What's
so,
that? Okay. What's that? I can't read it.
so Kathy, she says everybody stayed to the end to respect each other.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing, you know. I mean, we're a very social league. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of the leagues that you go to, like I mean, I played a lot of ICPLs, and they're good events, but you have no time to really spend with anybody. You're lucky if you get to say hello to somebody at the walk into the chrono. You know,
Yeah.
our events, I really like the fact that we try and we encourage, you know, the social part of the game. You know,
Yeah.
which is really what we're known for. That's the big thing. I love that. You know, I'm a bullshit artist. I could talk to everybody all day long. I like it. You know, so
Yeah, that's why I bought that car from you. It still doesn't run. Anyhow, yeah,
Well-
Kiko goes, even when I passed out from heat exhaustion, I was still having a good time. And truth is, he actually did pass out from heat exhaustion during that tournament. Him and another guy, I go out there and he was laying there and they took off all his clothes. He was laying there in his underwear and we were cooling him down. That's how hot it got. It was crazy. It really, really was. So, but I think Wisconsin in August, you know, I'm just hoping no rain. I think it's going to be a great time. I really, really do.
But at least it's north in August instead of south.
What's that, Ryan?
I say at least it's north in August instead of south. Hopefully it'll be
Right.
a little up
Yeah.
there.
Well, I have a dual purpose for wanting to play that one really bad. My daughter lives up in Door County, so she's going to come down and see me there.
Nice.
She's never seen me play a tournament, really. She's seen me run them. She's helped me run them. So
Yeah,
It
your
worked out
teammates
well
say
for
the
one
same
of our
thing.
teammates
That's
too.
correct.
His son lived in Florida, and they were able to see each other this weekend.
yeah,
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna be putting out in the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting out the local motels and everything like that. See what weekend of WCPL Wisconsin. It's the first weekend, Gabe. It's August 2nd and possibly 2nd and 3rd. The 2nd's on a Saturday, obviously. So it's the first weekend. The way I understand
You sure it's not the 6th and 7th? Because our 10 man's on August 12th and you're a week before us.
Now we're 2 weeks. It's August 2nd.
You're 2 weeks?
Yep.
Okay.
It's August 2nd. Yep.
Sweet.
So yeah, we went through
Just
that.
made it easier.
She says that August in Wisconsin is great. Oh, I love you. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so looking forward to it. And another thing too is, I mentioned that Kevin was coming there. People are excited now to get to meet Kevin. For me, I love the guy.
That's because he's shaved and looks really good right now.
He looks like a baby though. I'm like, it's like baby Kev now. I'm like, now I can't even stand next to him because I look even older. I say,
well, at least, with the beard, he does kind of look like Robert Redford with that bear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, twist the knife, Rob. Twist the knife.
Done with that. That's
I love it,
man.
Oh, we got Choppa. Choppa played down there
I didn't
too.
know Choppa was going to Florida. Who'd he play with? Did he play with you? Oh, just son of a bitch. I would have liked to have seen him.
Yeah. They were trying for a three-peat. They won it the last 2 seasons, and they were trying for a three-peat, but they think they ended up second, if I'm not mistaken. And we've got Kenny Stewart watching right now.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny.
General Paintball Museum. Kenny's on tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock where he's from, up in Michigan in snow country, and then 9 o'clock where Kevin lives. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to watch it. Kenny has a great showing, and he's not sitting in a store. He is sitting in his place. That's how many markers and things this guy's got, and the knowledge he has is incredible.
Well, him and Bill both, Bailey and him, shit. It's like,
oh yeah, well,
unbelievable the amount of shit in the background.
It is. It absolutely is. But Kenny is so intelligent about the stuff, especially Tipman. Denny Tipman, God rest his soul, was a great guy. And you ask Kenny anything about Tipman, and man,
but he's branched out now. He's like getting a little bit of everything. I'm gonna have to go through all my shit and send him some stuff. I got so much crap in my house and my storage unit. Forget it.
Yeah,
when I closed Action Sports Outfitters, I just took all the inventory from my stores and threw it in a storage unit, and it's been there now for like 25 years. I don't even know what's in there.
I thought when you closed it was just shutting the trunk.
No, that's how I started. You remember it?
Oh, I'm confused.
I started that business out of the trunk of my 1977 Lincoln Town Car.
Right car for it. Seven body trunk.
There you go.
Fucking trunk.
A lot of people don't realize that's how a lot of people start. Look at Gino. Gino started collecting tubes after the games, cleaning them out, buying a case of paint, filling the tubes, and taking them to sell them. Then next thing you know, he's National Paintball with Rick Fairbanks. Now he's Belkin with himself.
Yeah.
So he
did a great job.
Valcom got awesome this weekend.
Yeah.
Paint, everybody. Yeah. They went through 3 tractor trailers of paint at NXL. Their paint was amazing.
Best I've shot in a long time.
They sold out in Chicago last year.
Unbelievable. That paint, whatever they're doing now with that new that factory and those new machines, whatever they got it right. They do.
A
pink shell ball with a neon yellow fill that was like unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's probably the best ball I have ever seen.
That's saying something.
And I shot Nelson back in the day.
Nelson was great.
This paint is amazing. Amazing.
They brought Mike in from, he used to work for Zap and Mike Radko, and they brought him down there, and he helped them with, mostly
with the fill and everything,
the fill and the shell. Absolutely right.
Unbelievable. And it's American. It's made here.
Yeah, once they brought him in,
Market right
they
now.
they dialed it in, and it is absolutely perfect. And I'll give you a really good example. Last year, he sent the paint to me, and a trucking company from Sacramento had it. Well, they had it in a box truck, and they were supposed to deliver it, and they got hung up in traffic. So they call me and they go, "We can't deliver it today. We can deliver it tomorrow." And it was 104 degrees out. And I go, guys, it's awful hot. And they go, "Well, we can't do anything about it." So the next day they deliver it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So this paint sat in a damn box truck for 2 days until I got it. I put it in a tent. I put a tarp over it, put an air conditioner in there, and fired the air conditioner up. And I got to tell you, that stuff shot like darts. There was not a problem with one ball. Nobody at all complained about it. So, when it goes through that type of weather fluctuation like it did, and you can still take it out and play a great game with it, you got it going on.
Yeah. No, they really deserve some kudos for this paint. It's incredible paint now.
How do you shoot in Florida, Ryan?
Shot amazing. It was cool and rainy Saturday morning. It got hot and sunny Sunday afternoon, and it shot flawlessly all weekend. Not a single complaint.
Unbelievable. I'm so glad that they switched back to Falcon for that.
Well, Danny called me up, and because Steve had ordered the other. I'm not going to mention it either, but Steve had ordered the other paint, and Danny called me up, and Danny goes, "Oh God, Freddy," he said, "I'm so sorry." He goes, "I didn't know that you'd set something up with Gino," and I go, "Well, I says it's done now. I says there's not much we can do because you've already had the paint delivered, and I guess it's going to have to be go using the other paint." But I says next year, I says we'd like to everybody use the Belkin. Well, then come to find out, what Danny did is he just ate all of that, kept it, for the field, and ordered all the Belkin paint to come in and for the
This is
tournament.
why I
And,
love all you guys that run these events. All you do is think of the player. You help each other out. It's just freaking right.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, and Danny,
It's true.
I think Danny went overboard to do it. Because Danny called. I didn't even know he was going to do it, and he just told me at the time when I was talking to him. He goes, "God, Fred," he goes, "I'll go ahead and get the other paint." I go, "No, Danny," I says, "because this stuff isn't cheap. It's not like you're putting out $100 for all these cases of paint. You got to put out a lot of front money." And then come to find out that he went and did it anyhow. You want to talk about a guy that really cares, not just about the WCPL, but just like Rob just got done saying, cares about the players himself.
That's all Danny has done his whole life.
I know. It's all about credibility, man.
It is.
You got to have loyalty and credibility. You got to do what's best for everybody. Your players,
Yeah.
Your players, the people that support you. You got to support them back. Gino's been good to us. I mean, we got to take care of each other. That's the way it should be.
And loyalty. Loyalty to me is everything. Period.
It is to
I've
me
been that
too.
way all my, and I've been kicked in the butt being loyal, but I still do it. Period. Cut and dry. And I'm going to go right back to Ryan right now, because Ryan, since you guys started playing WCPL, your team legacy has been very, very loyal to the WCPL, because
we appreciate
there's
that, Ryan. I mean,
I
really appreciate that.
There's a gazillion things you could go do. There's a gazillion things every weekend that you guys could go do, but yet you take the time to come and play our events. So you'll never know how much we appreciate that. Really.
We committed to Jamie Conley's Mectastic series, which happens to be the same weekend as WCPL Wisconsin. So we're putting a team in both.
Wow. Jamie's a really good guy. I'm sorry that we're stepping on him, but he only got so many days to do stuff.
We couldn't miss a WCPL close to home.
Appreciate that.
Well, as a player,
Jamie too, but kind of rough.
As a player, Ryan, I can tell you, I'm glad you guys are back, because you guys are a great team in the '90s, fun to hang out with, and I'm glad you guys came back.
It's been great.
Best
thing I've ever done, aside from my kids, is coming back to paintball.
Yeah, not just a hard team on the field, but great people off the field. I mean, that's exactly what we look for. And, that was Kevin's whole, I don't know, his philosophy, his outlook on the WCPL was, when he contacted me, he was like, I just want to have people come and play and have a good time. And, the minute he said that, I knew I was all in on it. So,
Well,
and,
a lot of
Kevin,
people got
he's
in
good
though.
stuff.
I've been preaching that. I just started. I entered in May 1st, my 43rd year of paintball. I've been in the game 43 years, playing for 43 years, and I've been to everything. I played every format. I've played every style, and
Me too.
it was
Yep.
always about like the money and the and how many teams you get and all that shit. I just wanted it to be fun for everybody for a change. Fun first. Paper
Well, it worked. It's something everybody looks forward to. You bring it up when I bring it up to the team. They're like, "Yeah, they're asking me already in October after St. Louis. We're doing these ones, right?"
Yeah.
They're not
Well,
asking. They're telling me now.
Look,
Yeah,
I
well,
love when I go to events and I
Can I
see
get in on this,
Mom.
Con?
Sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just saying, I've already had several guys contacted me too, saying, "Can I get on Wisconsin with you guys?" I'm like, "Well, hopefully we're returning the same lineup as Florida, but
Yeah, that's how you get better. Yeah, that's how you get better is doing that. So yeah, everybody playing together like that. But the Wisconsin one looks to be a lot of fun. They had a good field, and what I want to do too is Commando Paintball. The guy, he Ryan, the owner, he asked me, goes, Fred, if this goes good, can we do it again next year? And I said, well, first of all, I'm going to make it go good. Period. I says, I'm going to make everybody have a good time, make sure they do. And I says, and yeah, if this rolls good, we will definitely do it again there next year. And then, we can add another one to it, maybe, the following year. It's very hard. Like Kevin says, there's so much going on. Even August 2nd, there's the ICPL down in Florida. There's just something going on every weekend. And like I posted on my site, you just got to pick out the one that you think you're going to have the best shot at, the one you're going to have the most fun at, and go do that one. So I don't down any of them.
You take the local events, not just the national events, and you do the same thing. Good luck. There's probably 500 local events on any weekend around the country.
There's so many events, but you can't. The thing with us is we're not looking to get 50 teams. We're not looking to get 100 teams. 18 teams. We should be able to get that easy. I mean, we really should. And I don't understand how we're not selling out every single event. We're a great entrance level event. Teams out there have to know that if they want to come and they want to get a baptism in paintball, competition paintball, we're the place. It's not the ICPL to go get your ass kicked. You come to us, you learn, then go over there and try your luck in the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
I played several.
What were you gonna say, Ryan?
I said I played several ICPLs, and they're fun. They're their own thing, but we've transitioned to all WCPL this year. No ICPLs, just because we fit in there a lot better.
Right.
Yeah. I want you guys to win one now.
We want to also.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Wisconsin's the one.
I appreciate what you're saying, Ryan. I really do, because it basically proves what I've been trying to do when I first came up with this idea of even running this league. The reason I did it was because I was playing ICPLs and I was just listening to all the teams like bitching. They're all going, but they're all bitching. I was like, I got to get away from this, including my own guys.
Kevin, can you read that?
I can't read anything.
Yeah, Kevin Hilbert says, calm down, Kevin. I can see the veins now since you shaved. Love it.
All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut.
I don't exactly remember how it happened. I do remember at the first Chicago ICPL, you pulled up with Rosie in a truck, and you were pulling right by me and you're just pounding on the side of the truck. Robbie, come see me. After that, later on, when you came up with the WCPL idea, you gave me a call.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but I'm thrilled you did. And I never did thank you for it, but thank you at this point.
Come on.
For including me in that.
This isn't something like I thought up, in a minute. Like when I saw you, I was like, all right, I got to talk to this guy. But my thing is I really didn't want to talk about the league at Tom's events. I think that's disrespectful to try and
I do too. Right
tell
on.
what I'm doing. It's somebody else's thing.
We just ended up chatting.
Yeah, it was casual, but like Tommy, he came to me at one of the events. He's like, "Oh, I don't appreciate you running around selling your league." I said, "Tommy, I'm not selling my league. I'm not here wearing a WCPL hat or a WCPL shirt." I said, "Tommy, also, I'm not broke, motherfucker." I said, "If I wanted to, I'd hire a plane with a banner and fly around your fucking event all day long." So I don't want to do that,
Careful, Kevin. Kathy might get back here.
Yeah. I see the veins again.
But I'm thrilled that I'm included in this, and I'm thrilled,
Look, I love having you guys, man. I mean, it's awesome to have such great people in our camp. It's so good. So cool.
It absolutely is. And, you couldn't, all of Team Fox, all of Team Legacy, these are some of the best people in the sport of paintball, period. And, that's like Rob. Rob is part of the band, and not anybody is part of the band. It takes a lot to be part of the band. But I've known Rob for quite a while, and I watched his attitude, and because it's all about attitude to be part of the band, and it's all about attitude to really be part of the WCPL. Because we've had a team that didn't work out, and there's only been one team in the 3-4 years that we've been doing this that we've had any problems with at all. Everybody else, on the field, you got to play as hard as you can. Period. You can't let your team down. You got to get out there and just play as hard as you can.
That's the game.
Field, you got to act like a human being. And
it's incredible because we're all personalities. We're all fucked up. Let's
we are.
Oh, not me. I'm about as mellow as they get.
Yeah, okay. Freddie, come on. You might be now.
I'm just about asleep.
I know you way too damn long for you to pull that shit.
Hey. Uh-oh, you scared Rob. Oh, there he's back. Okay, right on.
No, we've been very fortunate with the teams that have been attending our events. I mean, we got a lot of great teams.
Fortunate and grateful. I'm
great people. Grateful. I love it.
The right teams back, I would say.
Well, the best part about it, Ryan, I got to meet you, because your team came up to me and says, it's his birthday, and he's an old guy, and he's 50 years old. Once I got over the shock of 50 being old, that's what I gave him that day.
There you go.
You got your coin.
There was only a few of those made, and Jim Lively gave me an extra one. And so after I talked to Ryan for a while, I knew that we were going to end up being friends because I liked his attitude. So that was my present to him that day. And his present to me is the way he acts and supports WCPL.
We love it, man. So, anything you ever need, don't be afraid to call me. You got.
Hey, one thing I want to mention before we get out of here that I had forgot about, a new idea that Steve had down at Panhandle. He made these little plastic player cards with a schedule printed on back.
I saw those. I was wondering what it was.
In your pocket.
That's really cool.
That was such a game changer for us. Always know when you're playing. You look out, see what two teams are playing. You can figure out exactly where they are. And that was just
is very cool.
He's a smart guy, that got Steve.
Yeah, he is.
Unfortunately, he's on the wrong side.
And it just worked out great.
Well, you've seen the rings he had made. Now, I contacted Steve, and he's getting them to make the rings, same rings for Wisconsin, only with the Wisconsin logo on the top.
Nice.
Excellent.
So,
yeah, those are pretty impressive.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing right there. So that card is awesome. Jessica Marie says, Jessica, you're cool as hell. I like that. I really do.
Jessica rocks.
Back on the show. Yeah.
All the girls are awesome. The feisty girls, the Valkyrie girls. I mean, See, that's the other thing. I mean, we got two female teams. You know, who's
I
got that?
love that.
I
You know,
love
I
it.
mean, and they're great.
Absolutely.
They're awesome. I mean, I love to see them. I look forward to seeing all those
And
ladies.
they're cool girls.
And they
they're
all go
very
in there.
cool ladies.
Well, even Kathy Alvarez, who I know forever since she's a kid. You know, I love Kathy, and even though
All
she's
the
gonna
ladies come in with great attitudes and have them the whole time. Every time.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we kind of blown through our hour, and I've had a good time. I could sit and talk to you three guys forever.
we do.
Yeah, it's kind of like sitting around the campfire and shooting a bull, man. It's pretty cool.
We'll get to do that in Wisconsin and hopefully in another one.
Absolutely, we're going to do that. No doubt in my mind about it, and I can't wait. So, Rob, I'm going to start with you. First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on here with us tonight and talk a little paintball. And without a doubt, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Wisconsin. So I'm
looking forward to seeing everybody else too. Thank you.
Take care, Robbie.
Later, Rob.
Take care, guys. Bye.
See you, brother.
Rob Walker, what a great guy.
Awesome guy.
Yeah, that's why he's a band member. You know, he's the guy just, I don't know. I sat and I watched him and I listened to him. I talked to him. He had his sister in Florida and she was really nice, and just everything about it just kept telling me, make him a band member. He's the kind of guy that you want to hang with and be part of. So that's how he became a band member. He's a cool guy. Ryan, you're next. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on here tonight. I love Team Legacy. I love all the people in it. I think you guys are one of the coolest groups in the sport of paintball. So let's say goodbye to everybody. And again, thank you for taking the time to come on tonight.
Appreciate you having us on, Fred. I'll do it anytime. I love coming on the show. Wisconsin, can't wait. Florida, It was a great event. Can't wait for next year.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah,
thank you so much, man.
Ryan, you do so good now, man. The first time I had you on, you're like a deer in the headlights.
I'm getting there. I'm not.
You're a seasoned veteran now.
I'm getting there.
You're doing great, brother. Really are. And again, like Kevin said, and let me reiterate, we appreciate your friendship and your loyalty. Take my word for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. I don't know how I could ever repay you, but I will. Tell that shithead Matt Courtney I said hello.
I'll let him know.
All right.
All right. You have a good evening, my friend.
Take care, Ryan.
Wow, Kevin. And look at the people that we get to hang with. How absolutely cool is that?
Freddy, it makes me feel, I get tingles when people tell me that we're doing a good job, because that's all I want. I just want happy players, good events, happy players, and good memories.
Yeah, it's just that, it's the people, I mean, getting to meet Rob, getting to meet Ryan, you have known for 100 years, you and I go back to the Jurassic age, but I mean, I get to meet these guys and it's about as cool as you can get. Absolutely love it. So, Kevin, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
Freddy, thank you.
I want to thank you so much for coming on. I want you to give Wendy a big hug and kiss for me.
I will do that. You do the same with Shari, everybody out there. Thanks for putting up with me for an hour. See you all somewhere.
Right on, Kev. Well, everybody, I appreciate you taking the time and watching us tonight. I love my audience. I love the guests that I get to have on. I think they're absolutely terrific. And I cannot wait till next week now. This is so cool. I love having guys on like I had on tonight. They just make you feel like you want to keep building paintball. That's what it's all about. So individually, we can do a lot for paintball, but collectively, like all of us together, we can do an awful lot for paintball. So collectively, let's work on it. So everybody, till next Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook, please, everybody, play hard. Play safe, play fair. Get out there and play paintball. All right? Bye now.